Aha! You are about to listen to the Redhead Boy Podcast, available on Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts from. Now enjoy the show.
Hi guys, and welcome to another glorious episode of my podcast, that is the Redhead Boy Podcast, hosted by me, Harry, and I have an amazing guest today. I have a old acquaintance of mine, a old friend, a blast from the past, the uber talented makeup artist Flo Lee is joining me on the show today. Super excited about this. This girl is truly amazing and overall a fabulous human being. She's done some amazing work over the recent years, including working on Britain's Got Talent and an array of loads of different things that I'm super excited to dive into today. So without further ado, let's crack on with my chat with Flo Lee right now.
Hello.
Hey.
You hear me? Oh, it's so nice to see you.
Hello. That's so weird. So weird.
It's been so long.
I'm liking the blonde bit in the fringe, by the way.
Thank you. It's a bit of a lockdown bust up.
Lockdown jobby. Might as well.
Exactly.
I'm just grabbing some water because I didn't realize how quick the day was going to go today. It was like crazy quick.
What have you been up to?
I just recorded another podcast episode.
Cool.
And then did that this morning with an actor friend of mine. And then I was like, yeah, I'm like double down in today. I was like crazy. So I quickly shoved like some hot food down my neck, and now I'm like,
oh no, trying to recover.
yeah. So it's my partner's like mum's food, and it's like quite hot. So it's so
sounds good.
It's so good to see you. I like the way you got like a jungle behind you almost.
I know, this is my flatmate Hayden's. She's into plants, which I love because our place is covered in them, and it feels, when you can't go outside, well, during first lockdown it was pretty good.
Yeah, they like say what plants make people feel comfortable, don't they, or something?
Yeah. You know what? I actually believe in it. I really believe in it. I think when we get our own place, we're gonna bring this with me.
Yeah, we just made ourselves sound like proper hippies just there, but you know.
I know. That's fine. We'll just go with it.
There are plants everywhere, and no, it's so good to see you, Flo. Like such a long time. Like crazy.
Oh my god, how long has it been?
Like maybe 3 years, maybe.
No, it's been longer than that, Harry.
Yeah,
because film school was over 4 years ago. I've been in London for 4 years now.
Oh crikey! Yeah, no, I think I remember the last time I saw you. It was like outside of that restaurant below film school, and I was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was just about to that day. I was shooting my first scene of my grad film, and I was like, "Hi." I think you were walking like one of the lecturers' dogs with Gabby and stuff. I was like,
yeah. That dog's a pain in the ass. Oh my god, stressed me out. But it was lovely to see Gabby. Bless her.
Yeah, no.
And how have you been? What have you been up to?
I haven't really been up to loads in terms of creative. I find it funny that I mentioned seeing you the last time. And that was probably one of the worst weeks of my entire life.
Oh no! Why?
Why? It's just I remember going to, because prior to that I saw you at Gabby's birthday party, didn't I? And And I like the way I showed up to that party, and so did a lot of us. And we were like, we're not going to drink anything because it's going to be really expensive. And then, like, Gabby's dad turned around to us and be like, the bar's free. And we were like, yeah.
As you do when you're a student,
yeah,
you're a free bar.
Free bar.
Don't need to be told twice.
Yeah. No, definitely not. No. And I was just like, film school was, pardon my language, film school was fucking hard. Like the last year was fucking.
I don't know how you guys did it.
Yeah, and I fell out with everybody. To be fair.
Oh no! Have you made up with them?
A lot of them no, but that's fine. That's fine. I was
life sometimes.
I was. I sort of The reason why I haven't done anything creative was sort of that I needed to maybe like have 3 years like to sort of. Well, I didn't plan it, but
but here we are.
but I ended up having like 3 years to sort of like get my shit together and like recuperate, and like it's important to reflect on stuff like that, isn't it? So.
Oh, definitely, honey. And also, like, we all, shit happens, and if you can look back on it in a different way or something, you've just got to process it, and sometimes you need that time to get back into it all.
Yeah, especially if you're like creative and stuff, because you probably have that where you have moments.
It always comes back to you.
Yeah. So I shot something recently, like my newest thing, and I was like, when you worry that you haven't done something for ages, and you're like, holy shit, am I gonna have got into this? Am I gonna have got into this ridiculous debt for like no fucking reason?
Like I did. Honestly, like how I did that. Oh no, how I actually did do that.
It's all right. I'm going to talk about that later on.
Oh God.
But yeah, no, it was so like a sense of relief that I was like, oh, okay, this has absorbed in my brain. It's still here. So
it is still there. And it's funny how you'll pull it out.
Yeah.
Like you'll just remember something, or and it just makes sense.
Yeah. Because I was talking to my like camera guy that did like a more like theory degree and stuff like that, so very much written. And he turned around to me at the end of the day, was like, quite a lot, don't you? Like quite a lot. I was like, do I? All right, thanks, cheers.
Oh, I'll take it and run.
I'll take it and go. So but yeah, no. Aww. It's crazy. How's it? How have things been with you, like through like all this like rubbish and lockdown and all that and stuff? How's that been?
I mean, it's been mad. It's been all right. I mean, lucky to, we're in London, and at least I got my sort of career idea around. Like I feel like it came at a shitty time, because it was like the beginning of the best year. Like the start of the year was so good. I just got back from Milan Fashion Week, and and I was just everything was booming, and then suddenly it just dropped off the face of the earth. As it has for a lot of people. But yeah, I mean, it's been a weird year, but we're so lucky that things are picking up again now, and like we were able to work from the second lockdown, I think. So at least work's been coming in. But yeah, it's a mad one.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. And the other half, is he all right?
Yeah, he's good. Oh, he's really good. Okay. Yeah, well, he's like, moving jobs at the moment, but same sort of idea. So he's in cybersecurity.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. Yeah.
So his work's been crazy. That never slows down.
Yeah, I bet.
Whether there's a pandemic or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, he's all good. And what about your partner?
Yeah, no.
So sweet together.
Thanks.
Honestly, you guys look so cute together.
Bless you. No, yeah, we're really good. Yeah, really good. He's like,
it's been a while now, right?
Yeah, we've been, we celebrated our like second year of like meeting, because I don't remember when we started dating, because it was my first time dating a bloke, so I was very like nervous. And like overthinking it too much, going like, so we're just friends that occasionally have sex. That's all. for ages. That's what I was saying.
That's so funny.
And like my best mates, because Mosh is a doctor in Worthing.
Oh wow,
So
cool.
so for ages, when I was just like meeting up with him, and my mates would just be like, "Oh, are you going to see the doctor this weekend?" I was like, "Yes, I am."
A little checkup, a little friendly checkup.
Yeah. So
Aww,
no,
sweet.
good. Yeah, crazy good. And we've been living together for. I've been here for like over a year, and that's so good. That's like,
Amazing.
crazy good. It's so good to finally
good.
be in a completely separate space. I love my family and everything, but it's so nice to be like in a completely
of
separate.
course.
Yeah, no, it's cool. No, thanks for asking, and make sure you say hi to your mister as well. He probably don't.
I will.
He probably don't remember me much, but no.
I was just telling him, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this podcast with Harry, the guy I went to film school with. I don't know if you remember. And he was like, yeah, I remember Harry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, bless him. He's a sweetheart.
That's cool. No, good. Cool. Now this is where I put my like presenter hat on, and we're gonna go.
Okay.
We're gonna go like back now to where we met and started like chatting and stuff. So we both showed up to Brighton Film School when it used to be called Brighton Film School, and
I know, what is it now?
It is the Screen and Film School Brighton, because they got like 2 other open now. Yeah, it's because
wow,
it's because they finally have money.
Good.
Yeah, so they got bought out by BIM, the musical academy in Brighton. So now they finally have money, and it's not just them in a tiny little 2 rooms.
Aww. I know, but do you know what, Harry? I think we're really lucky to experience it as that.
Yeah.
Because it was so personal. And I mean, I only did 1 year, but it was so personal. Anyway, off on a tangent. Carry on.
I agree. I'm sort of glad when I showed up there and did the interview and they said, "Oh, we got a new building." There was this sense of relief that I was like, okay, it's not just this tiny little 2-room in this when people show up, they see this massive Gothic looking building and they're like, "Oh, this place is huge."
Yeah. It's actually just in the downstairs to the left. Right at the back.
Yeah.
Got a kitchen.
Kitchen. Yeah. No, that's funny. No, and I think you were one of the first people I actually talked to. You were standing you were standing in the main lobby bit, and I was with my shy self, I was like, "Am I in the right place?" And you were like, "Yeah, this is for the film school." You're like, "Oh, I'm Flo, nice to meet you," and I was like, "Hi." Yeah, no. It's crazy. Now, I find it quite interesting because you told me, because I have a good memory for these things, your old man's a photographer, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so you said that you decided that you wanted to try and do film school to sort of think that you would follow in your old man's sort of creative camera footsteps, right?
Well, yeah, I think I always loved makeup when I was really young, and I would sit on set with him from the age of 5, and I'd sit with all the makeup artists and the models because they were the friendly ones. So I'd sit there and watch them all get their makeup done, and I thought it was absolutely fabulous. And then I went to college and uni, and I went traveling, and I was like, oh, I'll give film a go because I like cameras and I like films. Oh, try that. And then I realized I was absolutely shit at cameras. Didn't understand editing process at all. Wasn't academic, so I couldn't do the script writing or anything. So anyway, I tried. I'm glad I did it because otherwise I wouldn't have met you and Gabby and everyone. But gave it a go. Everyone was filtering through and being like, "Oh, I want to do editing or I want to do camera work," and I was like, I'm just enjoying hanging out with you guys, really.
Yeah. You know,
But
I remember you sort of like towards the end of that first year, you were like, nah. You're like, I'm not going to do any more of this. No.
I know. It just wasn't me.
That's
And I
fine.
don't know why I didn't think that makeup you could do, even though I'd seen it. I mean, it still doesn't make sense to me, but I'd seen it happen. Like people do makeup and do really well in it, but for some reason I didn't connect that to a proper career. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But Adam, my dad's makeup artist, Adam DeCruz, he asked me while I was at film school if I wanted to come on a photo shoot with him.
Oh, cool. Sick.
And I was like, absolutely, like, yeah, I'd love to. And I walked in and I watched him do the makeup, and I was like, oh my god, I need to do makeup. Like, what am I doing? And I went home and told my mum, and she was like, well, I could have told you that 4 years ago.
You're like,
and I was
cheers,
like, well,
mum.
thank you. Thank you for £10,000 worth of debt later. You could have given me the hint back then. But
no, that's good. That's good that you had that like epiphany like early rather than
I know, right?
like trying for like 10 years to get into the industry and then it'd be like, nah.
I know. It's just, film is so hard. Like makeup's really hard. Like I work in fashion and it's really it's cutthroat. It's not like easy. But film is just so hard.
Yeah.
For edit, like Gabs, obviously I keep in touch a lot with Gabs. And she's following down like the editing and like videoing. I don't even know the right lingo anymore. It's completely out of my head.
It's all right.
But yeah, she's going down that route.
Cool.
And she's an incredible editor, but it's so hard to get your foot in. Like, I think, you know, if you want to be in film, you have to go into it 300 million miles an hour and then see where it takes you, kind of thing.
I always feel like I would be the most like, because film school are very much, I'm like quite brutally honest on here, to be honest. So they probably they probably don't listen to me much anymore because I appreciated the experience and it was good, but I can see where they sort of like drop the ball on some things and stuff like that, which is fair. Like they very much like at the moment they very much concentrate on the ones that are doing really well.
That's really hard.
Yeah, which I think
really bad.
Yeah, which I think is a bit yeah, that's fine, like swings and roundabouts and stuff. But it's like I kind of think it's a bit unfair, really. They sort of like let you go and then, you know, you see the probably the people that you're thinking about right now are the people that are getting like shown off and stuff. Like, naming names.
Mad, isn't it?
Naming names.
It is mad. I also do think it's quite a hard one to go into from like straight from college.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I went to film school when I was 20 or 21. I was older than most of you guys.
Yeah.
But even I found it hard. Like it was not that age makes a massive difference, but coming out of school and going straight into film school, like it's the same with degrees and things, but it's tough. I think if they're just focusing on the ones that are doing really well, that's really quite harsh.
Yeah. It's like I said this in the previous podcast episode, but I'm going to say it now. I like the way they'd be like, Harry really hates us. I'm like, no, I don't hate you. I sent a link to my like newest, because I've been doing this like monologue series of like.
Oh yeah, I saw on your Instagram.
Yeah. And I sent them the link to it to like, oh, like cheers, I appreciate it if you watch this and like give it a share. And that was like 2 weeks ago and like nothing. I was like, okay, cheers. Anyway, that's fine.
Well, keep going. You have to send it off many times, don't you, before people.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not like it's not like I generally don't mind. It's fine. And you'd probably 100% agree with this if you listen to all like the no's and the like stop backs. You wouldn't be in the place there. Definitely.
Yeah, of course.
So
you have to keep going. God, I've sent when I was first starting assisting, I sent out emails like once a week. I was like, hi, I'm Flo, I do this, I'd love to assist your artist. And you know, I wouldn't hear back, and I'd be like, hi, it's Flo, just checking in. I wanted to check that you got my email last week. I'll check in next week. Okay, hi, it's Flo. I would just go and go, and eventually it hits someone, and you know, it works. But
no, it's good. So tell me, like, you said that you're working from like home today. What are you doing for, like, what are you doing at the moment?
I'm doing invoicing, which
fun.
is horrible. It's not fun. My unacademic brain is not enjoying it. But yeah, it's one of the things of being freelance. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's things. It depends on, obviously at the moment. So I'm actually currently quarantining because I've just got back from Milan.
Okay.
So you have to do a 5-day quarantine. I think you can, well, I won't get into it, but you have to basically quarantine until you get a negative result twice or something. So I'm quarantining, so I'm just making the most of not being able to leave the house and do other work. So
fair enough.
Doing invoicing and like planning shoots for like editorial work, which is like, I don't know if you know much about it.
Not a huge amount. Like, tell me, because it looks.
I'll fill you in.
Looks super impressive, Flo. To be fair, it's crazy.
No, it's so like editorials are, you do paid work and unpaid work. So I think in every profession, like, you know, in film and TV, and you know, you do like running jobs and things like that.
Yeah.
In makeup, we do, so editorial is in like a magazine. So, you know, all the big magazines like Vogue and Tatler and, you know, Pop and Love. Well, they're the ones that you aspire to. So when you first start out in the industry, you kind of team up with young photographers and like models that are just starting out, new faces and hairstylists, and you all get together and you just create looks. And it's a place where you can be really just really creative, and you bounce off of each other and you learn what works. And sometimes you get the pictures back and they're shocking and they're awful, and you're like, I definitely shouldn't have done that, it didn't work at all. But you learn, and then you learn on these jobs so that you don't make those mistakes on the big jobs. If that makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah, but it's really sweet because it's kind of like a collaboration of you know, all the different roles that go into creating an image. It's like a safe space to just play around and have fun.
No, that sounds really good. That sounds like really, that's almost like going back to like my film brain. That's almost like shooting the film once and then going, okay, we like messed up on there, but we can do it again. So it's
exactly.
That's good.
So
It's
play
good.
around.
I bet that's a good. I bet that's a good laugh and a good learning curve, as you said. So.
Oh, definitely. Definitely, I've learned so much from it, and about lighting, and because as a makeup artist, you have to know roles that aren't just, you know, makeup. You have to know how something will be shot and what angles are going to make the makeup look more enhanced, or if it's going to get lost. And you know, the lighting makes a massive difference, whether it's natural light or, you know, lit in a studio. It all things that you've got to learn.
Yeah. Do you
over the years?
Do you think in sort of that makeup world, do you think makeup artists are sort of taken for granted, or do you think they're like respected enough? Do you think? Sorry, that question came out really.
No, I know what you mean. I think I've been really lucky enough to not encounter not being appreciated. So I think it can happen. I think people who don't work in the industry maybe don't see the work that we do. if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of the time I can say, if people ask me like what I do, I say I'm a makeup artist, and a lot of people can think that it's like frivolous or just like a fun, silly kind of job, which
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes it is. Like it is a lot of fun. But there's a lot more to it than just playing around with makeup.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like if you think about it, like we're so super close to the models, to the actors, to musicians, and there's a lot of people skills involved in it as well. And you know, a lot of the time people come in a certain attitude or frame of mind, and you've got to work with that and, you know, do your job, but make sure that they feel, you know, fucking fantastic if they're about to go on stage. Or like, you know, counseling can be in there with it. No, but you know, you just judging situations and also learning things, like I just said, about like lighting and stuff and camera work, and it's all intertwined. But I think as a whole in the industry, I think we're on quite a good level of understanding. But I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit naive as well. I like to think of the best in every situation. So from my eyes, I think we are appreciated.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the one of many like best qualities of you as a person, because I think you're and we haven't seen each other for a long time, but obviously unless you've decided to turn into a real bitter person, then which I'm sure you haven't, but you're like one of the most, and you're saying about good people skills, you have great people skills. You automatically when someone
thanks, Zoe.
this is when someone approaches you automatically make them feel comfortable and stuff, and make them feel like welcome. So
that's so sweet of you to say.
no,
It's nice hearing that, because it's, you know, sometimes I don't know, confidence can be knocked by so many different things. But I like to think I'm quite like approachable and chatty, but yeah.
No, I
nice
think
to hear.
I think and I was talking about this with my actor guy before. I was like, if you know people that are like so cocksure themselves and think they're like absolutely amazing, that they're normally like massive pricks and are generally not very good at their job. So, or they are good at their job, but nobody particularly likes working it with them. So nobody, like, you know, somebody would always want to work with you because you're so like nice and friendly, and like your Instagram images that you put on of your work are like crazy nuts, like so good.
Oh, thank you. Do you know I upload maybe like not even a third of what I do. I'm so critical of anything. This is one thing that I really don't like about Instagram. Like Zooms, I could talk to someone all day, every day, and it, you know, easy. But putting stuff on Instagram, I don't know. Before it was a job, I loved Instagram, but now it's like, you know, you overthink it, and you're like, oh, should I post that? Is it good? Is it as good as my last post? Like, you know. So Instagram is another world.
I've only just started doing that recently, in terms of like being back at doing like writing and shooting some stuff. And you are exactly right. You end up going, and hence the whole thing about like me like coming off of Facebook today, because I was like,
oh yeah,
I was like, the only reason that I have that now is to literally promote my podcast and promote my film work. So I was like, and since like having a rough time and stuff like that, I was like, I don't need to like air every single aspect of my life, because and you probably agree with this, it's good to have like a line in between, so personal life and then work life. Like I
definitely.
I've realized mentally it's so much better to have a clear line in between. So
do you know what? I realized that when we were at film school. I'm not going to say who, but someone came up to me once and they were like, oh yeah, I saw that you were at this bar the other night. And I was like, how did you know that? And they were like, oh, I saw it on your Facebook. And I was like, that's so weird. Like and it was like I'd never really spoken to this person before. And I was like, it's just so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird that you know about my whole life. Like, and then went on to say like other things. And I was like, it's so weird that you know about my life. And I don't really know who you are. Like, and so ever since then, I really just didn't really post anything on Facebook anymore. Like, even with Instagram, I have a private account, which is I just have it for like a couple of my friends, and that's all I have. And then I post anything I want on that. But I think Facebook became so like all consuming. You know, you just write random shit. I look at stuff that I wrote like 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, what was I on about? Give it another 10 years and I'll look back on this and be like, oh.
Yeah.
What have I done?
No, I think it's like, I sort of had that realization where I was like, that I needed to, because I had my Instagram, my like private Instagram, like open to the public for like the podcast and like film bits. And then I got to the point that I was like sharing pictures of my like little nieces and stuff, and I was like, I don't want a weirdo that decides to like a picture of my
well,
exactly.
Like
that, you know. So I think
to have your own thing.
And you know, to have other stuff to talk about rather than, you know, if we bumped into each other, the last thing we want to do would be like, it's all right, we don't need to talk because I know what you've been up to.
Well, exactly. It's so true. It is true.
Yeah, no, it's funny. So tell me how, like, so you just got back from where? You got back from
back from Milan.
Yeah. How was that? Was that like amazing? Was that good?
It was good. I mean, it was an amazing job. It was really, really so lucky to be there. It was, you know, it was a campaign with an artist that I've just recently started working with, who I absolutely adore. And I mean, it was great fun. I didn't see any of Milan. Literally from the airport straight to the hotel, straight to work, and then return again. But amazing. I love Milan. Now that I do Fashion Week, I've been doing it for about 2 years now. So we do like London, Milan, and Paris.
Wow.
Like 4 times a year. So it's mad missing that. And then going back to Milan now and it being everything's closed, and it's sad, but I know it's gonna get better. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mad time.
Yeah, no. I guess you're saying about like only seeing like an inside of a car and then work and then back to your hotel room. It'd be like at the moment, I guess you'd be like, well, there's not really anything else to do anyway, so that's fine. But
that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah.
Next time there'll be pubs open and little cafes and pizzerias and stuff.
Yeah. That must feel like that's probably me being like naive, but it must feel like so surreal going to like those places to do what you love now. Is that still a surreal thing to you?
I think now it's kind of sunk in. Not that it's getting more like. I mean, I love it. Every time I go, I'm pinching myself when I'm on the plane.
Yeah.
I think the first time I went to Paris, I had I booked this little apartment which cost a bloody fortune, and I had 2 shows booked on the same day. So I was there for 8 days with 1 day work, and I was like, right, it is what it is. You know, you basically have to, you email agencies and you say, I'm going to be in Paris, I'm going to be in Milan. You know, if you need assistance, let me know. And I emailed around, and eventually I managed to book 2 shows. But I've heard of girls and guys going out and not booking anything. So going for the whole 8 days, and you know, you're paying your accommodation, you're paying your flights. So yeah, I managed to book 2 shows, and one of them was Balenciaga. So So I was like, I'm super happy because it's a great brand. I don't care if I'm not working. I don't care if I'm not doing any of the other shows. That's fine. But it was with an amazing artist called Inga Grenard, she's just so cool. Like,
Cool.
I don't know if you know her, but you should look her up if you don't, because she's amazing. She's an icon in the fashion industry. And she let me come on her show. And I remember walking around the city because I'd never even been to Paris before.
Mm-hmm.
And my mum came out and met me for a couple of days, and she stayed in this little apartment where you could reach the kitchen sitting on the bed.
That's
like, it
hilarious.
was so small. It was so small. The biggest part was the balcony. And we just sat on the balcony and had a glass of wine and just did it super cheap. But I remember thinking as I was walking around, I was like, you're never going to have this experience again. So experience it, feel it. Like, you're abroad for the first time for work, you're on your own, you're doing it, just enjoy it. And so whenever I go back to Paris now, I kind of get that little tiny feeling of
remember. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah.
Little,
oh, bless. No. Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds like such a great story. Yeah.
It's cool. I'm very lucky that I've always wanted to travel with work. So it's really lucky that that's possible.
That's the
in
thing.
makeup.
Yeah. That sounds like a cool, like, short film that does, like, makeup artists in Paris for the first time. Yeah.
Do it, Harry. It's yours. You can take the story.
Take it. No,
you can take it.
Yeah. So does that how it works for, like, each like fashion week then? Do you have to go out to the place and sort of, like, bargain for, like, work?
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
Yeah, and
I didn't realise that how
you in. No, it's really, really hard.
Wow.
Like, people see you in different countries and they're like, oh my god, it looks so glamorous. Yeah, we're staying in, like, an Airbnb, like 4 of us in a room sharing a sofa bed. Like, it's not glam, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so it's basically like a free-for-all. Like, you go to Milan and Paris until there's, like, if you get taken by an artist, so if you join someone's team, then generally they can sometimes fly you out for Fashion Week and you stay in the hotel with them and then you fly home. But I've lots of different artists, and I haven't really resigned a specific team yet. Because I think it's good to work with different people. You see what who you work best with and because you learn so much at Fashion Week. Like, the level of artistry is incredible. You learn from other people, you learn from the key artists, you learn from designers. So I've just worked with loads of different people, and then if I get taken onto a team, then fingers crossed.
No, cool. I didn't realize, like, how that worked. I thought it was literally like that you get, like, a contract for, like, every year, or, like, it's like not guaranteed, but here you go, stay here for, like, a week and see you next year, sort of thing.
Yeah. No, it's honestly it's a free for all. Like, even if you've done a show the season before, like a couple of months ago, you might not get the option for this time. Like, it's really hard. And I think in that way, sometimes makeup can be quite different to hair, because a lot of hair teams keep the same people all the time. So if you're on someone's team, then you're on their team. Like, they don't, which can be hard for new hairstylists because they can't join as easy because there's already enough people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, everyone's quite close knit.
Yeah. So, the team's already set. Sometimes some like one person won't make it, so then there'll be a space for one more. Like, that in hair, that tends to happen more. Whereas with makeup, it is more, people like to move around. They like to try you know, different artists, and but it does mean that, you know, you'll get the option 1 month and then you won't get it the next month. And it's harder to stick to one team then, which is pros and cons in both sides, but it's a bit of a mind.
Would you say that's like, you personally, do you find that quite stressful, or do you think you've got used to sort of it a little bit of like the whole like not sure what's going to happen, pretty much, like
ever. I think it's pretty much ever. I think it's good because you just learn to be resilient.
Cool.
So if you don't get the job, it's not because you're not good at something, because someone who you also think is really good hasn't got it as well. You know, it's not like a personal thing a lot of the time. And I think it's good. In a way, this lockdown's been great because freelance is so up and down. It's always up and down. You know, some months will be amazing, you'll be working every day, and then some months you won't work for 3 weeks and you'll be like, am I even a makeup artist anymore? Will I ever work again? You know, it does come round, and I think this year's been really good because it's made me see that even if I can't work for a couple of months or half a year or whatever, it does come back, it does pick back up. You know, jobs always come around, even if it's not the job that you wanted at that minute, something else comes up. And, you know, it's better or the same, and you've just got to have the confidence to believe that it will happen. So I think it's good.
And I guess it's sort of like, it makes you like proper like strong as an individual, right? Because you have to be.
Yeah, well, I think it makes you strong in your work. It can either make you strong all over, or it can make you just hold on to work, and then outside of work you're like, need to be looked after. And no, I think it definitely does make you strong. It definitely makes you you know, have to be confident in yourself. But you learn that very quickly. And willing to know what you will do and what you won't do for work. Because I've been put in a position many a time where, you know, people are asking for a makeup artist, but it's not right for my type of work, and I know it's not going to benefit me in the long run. So even though it's paid work, it's really hard to turn down paid work, but sometimes it can not actually help your career. It's like for an actor, for instance, like taking on too many roles that are like, you know, comedy character, and then it's hard for them to get into something serious. It's kind of that kind of vibe. But in makeup.
You don't want to be like pigeonholed saying,
exactly.
This person is just good at this, so we won't hire them for anything else.
Exactly.
And I could see how. And someone like you, because I remember you like talked a lot about like you traveling before starting film school and stuff like that. That it must be so good. As you said, like pros and cons, but it must be like so good to be like to not know where your like workplace is like all the time. You're not stuck. You're not stuck on a computer, you know, typing away. Sort of.
Oh, you've nailed it in that, Harry. That's exactly what. I think some people might find that quite hard, not knowing what they're doing the next day, but I love the fact that every single day is different. Like I might get a call today asking if I could do a job tomorrow, or obviously not while I'm in quarantine, but you know, in normal times. I love the fact that it's so random.
Yeah. I think that was the main one of the main draws that I wanted to get into like film and TV. I was like, I don't want to be I want to be like every 6 months or whatever, be on something different or work on something different.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
We're definitely not office people, I don't think.
No.
Nah.
I've had one office job when I lived in Australia, And I was there, and I kept saying I was going to leave, and I think they were like, okay, good, because she's so awful. But I was too nice for them to fire me. Like, I just got on with everyone, and they were like, okay, Flo, yeah, we'll help you. Yeah, I just didn't get it at all. But yeah, I just not an office person.
Yeah, I feel like for me it would be like, Harry, you kind of probably talk too much rather than actually do the work that you're meant to be in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm in that like exact position of you saying like, I'm gonna leave this. Like, I've done retail since doing like coming out of film school, and I was literally saying to one of my managers the other day, I was like, I put on my uniform the other day, and I was like, I'm not gonna put on this uniform much longer. And he was like, yeah. I was like,
yeah, good for you, Harry. 'Cause it does get to a point where you're like, I can't. Like, I was working in retail makeup, so I worked for MAC, and then I worked for NARS for 2 years, and amazing experience. Like, oh God, you can't even compare the experience to anything else. Like, it just learning wise, like learning skin tones and just skin types and ages. Like, you meet people all different ages, all different backgrounds. Like, the experience in that is, for anyone who's starting out as a makeup artist, that is like gold. Working on a counter, although it feels awful after a year or after 2 years, you feel like you're never going to leave. It is so vital because you pick up so much technique. Working on different eye shapes, I would get people coming into Selfridges, and I'd be like, oh, do you want me to try an eyeliner on you, or like, just purely because I want to learn more about how to make an eyeliner work on that eye shape. And and they'd love it, and you'd be building relationships and stuff. And I think if you want to learn about how to do makeup, being surrounded by as many people as possible, as much makeup as possible, go for it. Like, it's the best place to start. But I did get to a point where I was like 2.5 years in, and I was like, I'm done. We booked a holiday to Thailand, and I was like, after that, I'm handing in my notice before we go, and I'm done, and I'm just gonna take the leap. And I remember people asking me, oh, have you got loads of clients then, are you all set up for when you leave and when you go freelance? I was like, no no, not at all, but I can't do this anymore. And when you've got nowhere else to turn, you have to make it work. So,
and you sort of you just got to bite the bullet and like be like, okay, I got to do this now, or I'm gonna look back when I'm like 50 and be like, why the fuck am I still working in this company?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
no,
crazy.
but that's good. I'm excited for you.
But that's because of Mosh, to be fair. He's helped me like supportive wise and stuff like that. And my retail job is all right. The team's really nice, and I'm good at talking to people. So
yeah, of course.
So sometimes I do feel like I run a pub though, because regulars come in and I go, all right, how you doing? You're like, I'm not a robot, I promise.
Oh,
you end up being like this, like living cliche where you're constantly saying the same stuff all the time.
I know. Oh my God, when I like, my first ever job was at Tesco's. When I was at school. No, I was at college. I was 16, and I worked at Tesco's, and I had these regulars that would come in every single Sunday, and we had like 32 checkouts in Tesco's, and I'd have like 3 of my regulars like waiting on my belt. My manager was like, oh, we've got loads more, we've got loads of tills open, and they're like, oh yeah, no, we're good, we're just gonna wait here. And I just chat. And I loved it. But then after they were gone, it was like, hi, do you need a bag? Do you need this? Have we got a club card? And then after a while, you're like, I asked someone like twice if they'd had a club card, and they were like, "Do you know what? I'm really good, thanks." So, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to a refresh."
Yeah, because I worked in like TK Maxx for like 2 months, and
Mhm.
and I did that for 2 months, and I was like, "Fuck this! This is so shit."
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh
plus,
no.
plus it
God.
was so hard to like. It's gonna sound like really funny, but it was so hard to like listen to like 16, 17, like 19-year-olds trying to tell me what to do.
Oh
This
yeah,
sounds
I know what
like,
you mean.
when you get to the
I
age
feel young.
where you're like, oh, I'm biting my lip here, but still, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah, definitely.
plus picking up clothes like every day and stuff like that. I was like, nah.
Mm.
So,
Oh.
but no, that's because of like Mosh and everything. And I've been applying for like jobs in London, and I got like this
Oh,
really
that's exciting.
I got this really exciting potential project with a national mental health charity. Uh,
Oh
stuff.
wow, Harry, that's great.
But I'm not saying much more because I don't want to jinx it. So,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
but
Well,
yeah,
fingers crossed for you.
nah. Especially because they're like nationwide. They're like one of the most top like mental health charities. I was like, get in.
Oh wow.
I
And
was
do you
like,
know when you'll know?
they're gonna like talk to me in a few weeks, but
Okay.
I sent them like an email and was like very honest about my own mental health and stuff.
Yeah.
Film school like shared the opportunity, and they put at the bottom, they were like, if you need help with your application, like please contact us. And I was like, nah, I don't need help with this. I'm all good.
Oh
Good. So
yeah.
and I was just very candid about my mental health, and then they sent me an email like the day after, which the deadline was like this week or
Oh wow.
at the end of the month, and they sent me a reply to the email like the day after I sent it. So I was like, get in. So
Oh well,
yeah,
it's probably because that's exactly what they're looking for. Someone who's
yeah,
honest and who
yeah,
can guide people, you know?
yeah. So
That's
but
really good.
that'd be cool. It'd be good. I would.
Yeah. Oh, I've got my fingers crossed for
But
you,
yeah.
honey.
Bless you. Bless
Exciting.
you. So so tell me a bit. Tell me. I won't leave you too much longer because you probably want to do something better than just like chat to me.
No, it's lovely
But
chatting to you.
I would tell me about working on like TV and like Britain's Got Talent and all that. Tell me about that. How's like
Oh,
how's that experience of doing that? Because I bet that's complete. Is it much
a
different?
completely different
Yeah,
profession.
yeah, I bet.
Yeah. TV is a lot of fun. TV is more. Whenever I think of Britain's Got Talent, it's like warm and cozy. Do
Cool.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the team that I work with, it's like a little family. And the guy I mentioned, Adam, earlier, he was the one who asked if I wanted to go on a photo shoot when I was at film school. And I assisted him for I'm still assisting him, but from the very beginning, he took me under his wing, and he brought me on
Cool.
Britain's Got Talent. And you know, it's TV is a completely different experience because it tends to be the same kind of crews every year.
Mm-hmm.
So for big productions like BGT, they've got the same production staff. Like everyone works together. Everyone's excited to be there. Like it's quite an uplifting one.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to work on that one because everyone's excited, and it's fun, and it's silly, and it's heartwarming, and we do the makeup for all the finalists. So
Cool.
everyone who goes through, all the winners. It's just a really good atmosphere. And I think the past couple of years they've really focused on like the mental well-being of people on, like, contestants on the show.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Everyone's in like really good spaces, and it's not like I've worked on previous shows where I'm not going to name any names, but reality TV shows where you see the girls, young girls, like 17, 18, and they're in a house with 30 other girls, and you know, you see on screen that they're you know, oh, they're so overreacting, why are they behaving like that? And you're like, actually, they've been cooped up in a house for
Yeah.
a month,
Yeah.
all being compared against each other, all like, you know, just a lot of pressure. Whereas I think BGT is much more, I don't know, I think they're just way more on it. I think maybe just now it's more, people are more aware of how mental health can affect, you know, someone coming from going on one of these shows and then massive media attention and then nothing. Like, that could be really hard. But it's nice working with BGT because it's, I think the years that I've worked with them anyway, they've really looked out for that.
Cool.
But it's so different to fashion because, you know, it's live, and well, live TV is stressful but fun.
Cool.
I love it because they go on, you have to make sure everyone looks great. The makeup's very different because it's obviously like thicker and stronger and bolder because the lights wash everything out, compared to fashion. But it's just a whole lot of mad fun. It's just different fun.
Cool.
Fashion week is chaos, but for like a day for me, because I come in and do the makeup on the day and then go out. But TV is more of a stint, so you're with people for longer. You work on, it could be like a week, which is BGT, or it could be a month, or it could be every weekend for like The Voice or things like that. They're every weekend for however long. But you get to see the same people again, which is really nice.
Cool.
In TV, it feels more like a family kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what I was going to say just then, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I feel like that's another thing that sort of draw me to like TV and film and stuff, in terms of like that sense of like a group of people coming together to make this one thing as good as they can, you know? So
definitely.
That probably sounds like really soppy, but it's true. So
no, it's nice. I think a lot of people are drawn to it because of that.
So
I'm yet to do film. I'm yet to do makeup for film.
Really,
hopefully at some point that'll happen.
that's literally what my next question was going to be, actually.
Would I do film?
Yeah. Do you think you would want to do like more like,
I would
maybe like actual drama stuff, or what do you think?
Well, I think
what's
it's
in
very
your
different.
like, what's it more in your wheelhouse now? Like, what would be like, okay, let's play a game here, okay? So if you could have any like makeup job on any TV show, what would it be and why? Like it could be something that you've watched recently, or something that you constantly been watching, or
God, that's such a good one. I mean, I don't know. I'd love to, TV shows that I've watched that I would love to be a part of. Have you seen Ratchet?
Yeah.
Is it on Netflix? I think
it is on Netflix.
Yeah, with the nurse who's mad. So that program's very stylized, and the makeup, the lipsticks. I don't know if anyone else has seen this. I keep mentioning it to people, and they're like, "Okay, so yeah, cool." And I'm like, "But did you see the lipstick? Because every single character has amazing lipstick, no matter who they are, no matter what they are, and that's really kind of incredible because even the characters who you don't want to really be noticed, like they're not key characters, but they all have amazing lipstick, and it's so hard to do that without them being like a focus or a draw away from the main characters. Normally, if you want someone to stand out, you'll give them like a bold red lip or a bold orange lip or whatever it is, but there'd be something to catch your attention to them, and you don't want to draw it away from other people with extras and stuff. Every character in that series has a great lipstick. So that would be fun. Also a young one, but also great for makeup, is Euphoria. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't I haven't watched it yet, but I just watched the like Zendaya and
Oh yeah, and
John
something else.
David Washington in Malcolm and Marie. It's the same team that make the
Oh,
show,
cool.
but they shot it during lockdown. They shot an entire feature, just them in a
Oh
house.
wow.
Yeah, check it
Oh
out.
my God, that sounds
It's on,
great. What's
it's
it
on.
called?
Malcolm and. Oh, sorry, I'm stuttering now. Malcolm and Marie. Malcolm and Marie.
Malcolm and Marie.
It's on Netflix.
Cool.
It's on Netflix. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm gonna check it
So
out.
so they were shooting whatever season of that show, and obviously it got shut down during lockdown. And then
Yeah.
rather than Zendaya and the director of the TV show, rather than the people losing out on the money and losing out on the work, they decided to make
Yeah.
they decided to make this feature film instead.
Oh,
So
that's amazing. That's
it's
so
cool.
good.
It's cool.
Oh, that's really exciting.
But would you recommend like the show to watch? I haven't seen any of it, so
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, it's quite heavy.
okay.
Some of it is quite scary how it could happen so easily. It's
Mm.
basically teenagers' lives, and how they grow up way too fast.
Yeah.
But it is, some parts are quite heavy, but
Okay, fair.
it's a really good program.
Cool.
And the makeup in it is phenomenal. It's really cool. Like, it's just makeup for no other reason than it's makeup, and that's exactly what we were like when we were that age doing makeup. I never thought of, oh, I'm gonna wear this because it's gonna go with that, and then I'll have my makeup like that. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like nowadays everything's like, okay, so who am I being? Who do I want to be? Today I'm gonna be classy with this and this. It's just, before, I feel like everyone was just like, oh yeah, I'm wearing a blue eyeliner because I like blue eyeliner.
Yeah.
And that, I feel like, is what the program is like. It's like, I'm wearing a full-on whatever crazy eye color look because that's just who I am, and that's what I'm wearing. No other thought behind it.
No, that's cool. So. No, that's cool. No, you are right in terms of like the lips like showing
in
Ratchet. You are, because
right. If you watch it back as well, having seen that.
and like all the posters, like all the lipstick was very like high like color. You were like, bam, the first thing that you saw was
exactly. It's
with
like,
that bright red.
To get that lipstick texture is really hard. So I'm watching it like, oh, this is a really good series, but what is that on her lips? Like, how did they get it like that? I'm sure it's a pigment. I'm sure it's a neon pigment. But I mean, I don't know. But the difference between that and film is film makeup is very different from TV or from fashion, because you've got like special effects and like bruising and the whole world of that, which is totally different to what I do. I'd love to do it on the beauty side.
Okay, cool.
I wouldn't want to do that side of it.
Yeah, do all the like, oh, I'm gonna make you look like your face is melted off type of thing.
No, I'm too squeamish for that.
No, that's cool. And I guess it would be really cool for like something like Ratchet that's like period and stuff. It'd be really cool to work on something like that because of the different styles of like makeup and stuff, right?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Because it all goes back to that. That's what we're all recreating now. Everyone's recreating the 60s, the eyes, the 90s brow. Like, everyone refers back. That's just what we do. So it would be cool to work on something period to really fall into that era of what makeup and people were like then.
Cool. I have to get writing something, and then I'll be like, Flo, could you?
Yeah. You said.
You said. Yeah. I'll be like.
You've got it recorded, so I can't go back on it now.
I know. I can't go back on it. No. It's a verbal contract. No.
Sometime in the future.
Yeah. It'd be like, and then secretly you'll give me your like rate, and I'll be like, mates rates, come on.
No, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be good. No, so
Fun
do
to
you
work
know?
together.
Do you know if you got anything like? Have you got anything like down the pipeline after you finish shutting yourself away?
Yeah. So, well, hopefully next week I've got a job. Everything confirmed last minute, so
That's fair
you
enough.
never
I
really
get
know.
that. I
But
get it.
oh, it's such a nightmare. But I think I'm working next week, Tuesday to Saturday, on a campaign, which would be fun.
Cool.
So that's assisting another makeup artist, but it's good working with makeup artists because it's like a team of us. It's almost like a mini fashion week. When you go on campaigns, you have like maybe one or two makeup artist assistants, sorry.
Yeah.
So there'll be like the top dog who's worked in the industry for years, and then they'll have a team of assistants who help them create the looks that they've imagined.
Oh, cool. Sick.
Yeah, or recreate the looks that they've done.
Cool. And then like in terms of like working your way up, do you eventually see yourself as like that head person, and then you have?
I hope so.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah,
All
cool.
my assistants with me. I hope so. I
Cool.
think it's
Nice.
it's like that's what you have to work towards, I guess.
Yeah.
But that can take years. That can take 20 years to get to that point.
That's fair.
Which is, it's so worth it working towards it though, because if you know where you want to go, it's good to have a big idea, you know?
Yeah.
Like something massive to work towards and just see how far you get.
Yeah. Plus, it's like when you eventually like, which I know that you will, but when you eventually get there, you'll be like, yeah, like I probably worked hard for this, and I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's what I really like about it, is that you work so hard to get there that the people that are there have worked so hard. There's like an underlying respect for people that are at the top, because you know they've fought tooth and nail to get there.
Yeah,
it's hard. Like it's, you know, you get put forward for jobs, and you get released from jobs, and you do paid work, you do free work, you do, you know, you work crazy hours, 18-hour days for 3 months straight. You know, it's hard work. But when you get there, it pays off so much, and you get to work with incredible people, and, you know, be in an industry that you love.
Yeah, cool. Cool. Well, I feel like that's like a great place to like end and everything. That's so good. Thank you so much for coming on and like chat with me. And next time we're like hopefully get to meet in person, and I promise I won't record the conversation. So.
Perfect. Yeah, don't, because we can go get a drink.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, catch up.
Let me know if you're ever in London.
I will.
You know, and your job or anything.
Yeah. I definitely will, because I know you said that to me ages ago, and I just have never never. That's not me. That's not
made the jump.
Yeah, that's not me avoiding you. Don't worry, it's fine.
No, well, I hope not. No.
Of course not.
Just get in touch if you're in London.
Yeah,
we can meet up.
Awesome.
Be lovely.
Yeah, it'd be good. Cool.
All right, Harry. Well, all the best with this. And
yes.
Thank you for having me on it. It's really good fun.
And that was my conversation with Flo Lee. Thank you so much, Flo, for coming on and chatting for ages with me about your amazing, amazing career in makeup, doing amazing stuff at London, Paris, and Milan Fashion Week. Oh, it was so amazing to have you on the show, Flo, to catch up after such a long time. So thank you guys for listening to the show, and hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a bit of a long one, but I think it was super worth it. Until next time, you guys take care.